Now, let's go to Queensland. The public servants there are being offered up to 5 days of paid leave for psychological distress after the Voice to Parliament referendum failed. Queensland had the most no votes, around 69% at last count, and that's probably going to go up with all the pre-polls and the postal votes. And meanwhile, we've got Sophie, the Liberal National Party in Queensland has now withdrawn its support for a state-based treaty, and it didn't take long for Annastacia Palaszczuk to say that she will not implement a treaty unless it has bipartisan support.
Rita, doesn't this just show where the yes vote had such a strong vote up in Queensland in the high 60s? They've got an election coming up, Rita, as you know. This is really about what do Queenslanders want, and they were a resounding no to this. So Annastacia Palaszczuk's in a lot of trouble in the polls. She knows that this is not popular. So I think both parties know they've got to go with what the voters want, and the voters do not want this.
The voters don't want this, but I would argue the voters in Victoria don't want this, but we've got this gutless Liberal so-called opposition who backed it, who did not provide any measure of opposition. And so really the people have no choice. It's not something that you get to vote on when you cast your ballot. Now, this is one of the best stories of the week. The Adelaide Advertiser reports an Indigenous leader used a taxpayer event to call for the king to be dethroned, attacked no voters, accusing them of leaving her powerless, and also likened the referendum result to the war in Gaza. Around 400 shocked guests were told they were on stolen land and told to clap louder, according to the reports. I just love this. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're going to pay someone to welcome you to your own country, don't be surprised if you're told you're on stolen land. Why are you going through this process?
Rita, I know you're laughing, but this is actually a sad state of affairs when I believe we are spending taxpayer funds to have this nonsense go on. So it comes a point where I think enough is enough. People are seeing through this. I think it's quite disgraceful that they allowed this to go on, really.